Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back everybody, let's take a look again on euro currency. So guys, sorry for delay. So I have planned to post the report yesterday but just was not able to do it in time. So that's why I posted today together with the gold report. Maybe it even will be better just because I also strongly recommend you to read the gold report as well, because in today's gold report we provide interesting analysis and forecast of our vision of Fed policy, what they intend to do, why we suggest that only single rate change will be. So we put this in a report of on the gold market, and actually it has tight correlation with the report that we have provided today. It's just because in the Forex report we take detailed look at the recent data, mostly the gross domestic product, not only in the United States but the European Union as well, on the inflation structure in the European Union, and that brings us very interesting conclusion. So we should not be deceived with the numbers on the surface. For instance, you know that the general Eurostat tells that there's no recession in Europe. We've got the positive numbers, but the problem is that you have to recognize in relation to what background, to what basis the calculation has been made. And if you will trying to investigate this, you will see that the growth stands upon the depressed moment in the European economy. They will be under burden of the multiple lockdowns, and when it has shown, really was showing very low pace of the gross domestic product. In relation to these numbers, yes, we have the good positive number in general in the European Union, but we think that situation will become worse in the third quarter, and currently it is just some image, the visuality of the success, but we think that negative numbers will be as soon as on the next report in the European Union as well. So this makes direct impact on our fundamental analysis of the euro currency correct target, and well, we suggest that maybe a downside action will be a bit slower right now. The reasons also stand with the changing of the Fed policy, with the data that we've got on the gross domestic product in the United States, with the steps that currently are doing by actually Janet Yellen, the United States Treasury, Fed Reserve, government, Joe Biden government. So all this stuff we have discussed in today's report, so you could read it. It's really interesting, and well, it makes us to conclusion that, as I said, downside pace may be a bit slower, but we do not deny our 90 even target below the parity. So before action to the 90 even starts, euro currency could show a bit higher retracement. So markets currently is very busy. The investors adjusting their view based on the information that they have heard on the last week, from the Jerome Powell meeting and Fed statement, from the gross domestic product numbers, from the Janet Yellen press conference. All the stuff has to be absorbed, understood, and applied to managing of the portfolios. That's why investors need some time to do this. So from the technical point of view, we're mostly watching for performance on the daily chart, because currently the major riddle is where the market will show complete this ABCD pullback, supposedly to the 104.50 area, or euro currency will not be able to do even minor pullback here to complete the ABCD and turn down. So since we have the bullish trend on the daily chart and lower time frames, we're still watching for a possible upward action. There are some other reasons stand for the at least that keep validity of this scenario, that's actually market could show this. And reassessment of the fundamental background also stands in favor of possibly a bit stronger upward action here, at least in the short term. So that's why we're trying to follow the market and do not intend to go against it. So while market gives chances for a BCD action, we'll try to use it. For the bears, it's unfortunately nothing to do yet. It's because bears will have to wait either the completion of the ABCD around 105, 104.50, getting this guardian triple to sell, or the failure of this pattern, downward action. Because if this pattern fails, market could start forming the butterfly here. So it might be left wing, it might be right wing starting if euro totally fail to proceed higher. So that's the moments that we intend to keep an eye on the coming week. On the 4-hour time frame chart, here is what we have. This is our ABCD pattern. Market is calling around the confidence, as we said, which is a potentially bullish type of the behavior. When the market for a long time calling around the major resistance, we already talked about this. Here's trend also stands bullish, and we intend to use most recent upward swing for position taking and keeping the eye on these lows. It's around 101 area as an validation point, because downside breakout here, it means that this ABCD pattern probably will fail and market keep going lower, because take a look, after this initial leg, ABCD retracement already has done. So there's no reasons to show a bit deeper ABCD retracement, because major retracement has happened already. And market theoretically should proceed higher. If it will not do it, it will be bearish sign, which put under question in general the bullish performance and significantly increased chances for a possible downward continuation. That's why the breakout of these lows might be important signal for the bears. Maybe it makes sense to consider taking the short position. So on a lower time frame, meantime, as you can see, euro currency has completed our Friday setup. So if you remember, we talked about reaching of the OP and downside retracement. Here lots of important, interesting moments have happened. First of all, our Brent body has been worked perfectly on this thrusting action. We said, if you remember, recall, watch for a possible Brent body, you could try and take the long position. Indeed, that has happened. But this was not enough to push price higher for the OP and keep going higher. So market shows after that deeper retracement. When the Brent bottom has been done, we've got ABCD pullback to the 618 level right there. So if you have taken position here, that's great. You just could hold it and just place stop on the break even and see what will happen. But simultaneously, this provides interesting stuff for short-term trading. As we suggest that euro currency stands bullish market should not return right back down and taken out of these lows, because the market mechanics of the upside swings, take a look what we have. Extension, pullback, contraction, extension, reaching the OP, retracement after OP, ABCD shape, given guardian triple to buy to the major 618 support. So for the bullish market, there is no reasons to show deeper retracement here, because it's already has been done. And by the market, by the swing structure, this has to be the new upward continuation swing. So market could show the retracement to one of these two levels of the most recent upward action, but it should not drop below it. If it will happen, that will be too significant retracement, and it start looking bearish, pointing that euro maybe is losing the pace and making bullish context not very reliable. That's why if you're considering taking the long position, you do not need to focus on big swings and place stop somewhere too far. You could use just this most recent upward action and watch for these levels and use these lows as invalidation point. So if you're indeed bullish, it should go higher. If it will not happen, that the bullish context is not valid anymore, and we need to wait to see, and see what will happen next. So that's the short-term stops that we have, and let's see what will happen. So actually for strategic trading, this is mostly interesting what will happen with this ABCD pattern. Both scenarios will be interesting, as forming of the guardian triple to sell, as failure of the pattern and start forming the butterfly. They might be really interesting for longer term bearish position taking.